Let's begin by both of you telling me your names.
Edward. James.
And when were you born?
December 22nd, 1949.
What day of the week was that?
Thursday.
What day of the week was December 22nd, 1349?
Tuesday. It was a Tuesday.
Edward?
Yeah.
What's today's date?
Friday, April 6th, 1973.
Very good. And do either of you know who Franz Schubert was? I'm going to play some music he wrote. Mrs. Talley? Stop playing, boys. Boys, do you think you can play that piece backwards for me? Get in closer, Jerry. Get their hands.
Joseph? Hello?
Well, my dear, this may be the end of Sister Edward Francis, but it's just a beginning for Christine Bennett.
Thank you, Reverend Mother, for everything.
Hold it! Where do you think you're going?
Well, I just assumed I could get a ride.
Oh? First lesson on the outside. Be careful what you assume.
But that belongs to the convent.
That old rattle-trap was donated to us, and I now donate it. License, registration, and rust to you.
But I...
When you're a successful college professor, buy a real car and donate it back.
Reverend Mother,
It's all packed. Better get going.
like I'm doing the right thing.
You thought long and hard about this. There's a brand new world out there for you. Enjoy it.
I'm gonna miss you.
Gotta get out of here before I start crying.
Leaving myself nowhere, no place to begin. It's as pointless as chasing the wind. Convinced the world changes every day. When it's only me who's changing every way.
I thought I was the early riser. Hi, neighbor. On behalf of the Oakwood Neighborhood Association, welcome.
Hi. Come on in.
Melanie Gross. My husband Dan and I live next door. Your Aunt Meg was so wonderful. We felt so awful when she died. Now, aren't you the niece who's a nun?
Chris Bennett. But I guess you'd call me an ex-nun. I was released from my vows earlier this year.
Wow. Got any bottled water?
No, I'm sorry. Actually, I haven't been to the grocery store yet. I was planning to go after I visited my cousin Jean.
Jean, so sweet. Whenever he came here, your Aunt Meg was so patient and good with him. He's still at Green Willow, right?
Yep, he's been there most of his adult life.
Well, now that you're here, you may want to check into what's going on there.
What do you mean?
It seems that Green Willow has become a halfway house for murderers. We feel our neighborhood is no longer safe. If you had kids, you'd understand.
I understand. I just didn't realize there was any opposition for Green Willow.
Look, this has nothing to do with you and your cousin Jean.
Well, as long as he's at Green Willow, it does affect both of us.
I'd better get my run in.
Bye. Jean.
Hi, Kirk.
you.
Super. Where's Mama?
Aunt Meg is in heaven now, remember? We talked about this last time I was here.
I don't remember.
I have something for you.
What?
It's in here somewhere.
Is it a new car?
Not this time.
It's a candy bar! Kicks, I like you. No, wait.
What are you doing?
James, do you want some of my candy bar? This is my cousin Kix.
Hi, James.
He's my friend. He's kind of quiet.
James, my name's Chris. I don't think I've seen you here before.
It's new. Do you know what my brother is? You always ask that.
No, James, I don't. But if you tell me his name, maybe I could help find him. It's okay. It's okay. It was nice to meet you, James. Take care.
Edward!
Is that your brother's name?
Edward! He always says that.
Thank you, James. Let me see what I can do.
It's okay, Dad.
Hi. It's so wonderful to see Gene making a friend. His name is James Talley.
What's his background?
30 years ago, he and his twin brother Edward were accused of brutally murdering their mother.
Oh, wow, he seems so gentle.
That poor man, all he does all day long is rock back and forth asking for his brother.
So is it true?
They were never convicted of anything. James Talley has an IQ of about 70. The court judged them both to be incompetent to stand trial, and they were sent to separate state institutions. A few weeks ago, the state determined that they were harmless enough and moved them to smaller facilities.
And you took in James?
If I had known that James Talley living here would jeopardize the future of this place,
But Virginia, surely a few picket signs.
The neighborhood has changed. They want us out. And having an alleged murderer living here provides them with powerful ammunition to take to the zoning commission.
And you're saying they're doing all of this because of James Talley?
They've done it. I've been notified that the Oakwood Neighborhood Association has filed a petition to rezone us out of existence, and the vote's in 3 weeks.
But they haven't even been tried. What if James and his brother are actually innocent?
I really appreciate your interest, but I feel that we tried everything.
Mother Joseph has a saying, take the leap. The leap of faith. Mentally retarded twins James and Edward Talley, 25, allegedly stabbed their mother to death in the kitchen of their house. Police, acting on a phone call from family nanny Maria Santos, 20, entered the home at 1238 Kenmar before noon yesterday to find the body of Mrs. Alberta Talley, 45. As the body was removed from the home, family housekeeper Selma Franklin overheard police detective Kevin O'Connor remark, "This is the sickest thing I've ever seen." Police alleged that Mrs. Talley was murdered by her sons, Edward and James, April 12th, Friday evening around 6 o'clock, shortly after the nanny had left them.
Mrs. Franklin, I am a friend of James Talley.
You've got ID?
ID, of course. Oh, but you see, I'm...
Come on, I haven't got all day. I'm none. Sorry, sister, I didn't recognize you without the get-up. Never can be too careful.
Of course, but...
You can't trust a nun, who can you? 12 years of parochial school.
Good for you.
I used to go to Mass every morning until my son. He died in Vietnam.
I'm so sorry.
I wasn't home that Friday.
Home?
Yes, I lived on the servants' quarters on the ground.
Oh, yes, the guest house next door. Please, go on.
I was the Talley's housekeeper. The Sunday they found the body, the police, the reporters, all over.
Were you surprised then to hear that they had murdered their mother?
What does it matter what I think?
Do you think someone else could have done it?
Who knows? Well, there was that Mexican girl who also worked for them, a nanny.
Maria Santos. Do you remember Mr. Talley?
Mr. Talley. He ran out on her because of the sons being, you know. I suppose the twins are better off confined somewhere where they can be taken care of.
It's not better for anyone if they're innocent. Detective Brooks?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Christine Bennett.
Won't you have a seat, Mrs. Bennett? What can I do for you?
Yes, I'm looking into a murder that took place in 1974. The victim's name was Alberta Talley.
Why are you interested? She's a relative of yours?
No, but it was a murder without a conviction, and two men who may be innocent have been locked away for 30 years without a trial.
I've done some research on the internet, newspaper articles mostly, and
their family's housekeeper is now living in the house where the murder took place. I'm looking for Detective Kevin O'Connor. He used to work here.
O'Connor. Detective First Grade Kevin J. O'Connor? I see him every day. Killed in the line of duty, 1979.
Mother Joseph, I hope it's not too late.
No, Sister Irene is just getting us a wee late-night snack.
Double fudge or cherry Garcia?
Oh, you know us too well. How is everything going?
I'm settling in.
Living the life of leisure till you go back to work?
Actually, I sort of talked myself into a project, and I need your help.
And I thought you were homesick.
Do you still have that contact at the Diocesan Marriage Ministry?
You mean, do I still play poker with Father Tom?
I was wondering if you could inquire about a Mexican woman.
In 1974, she lived on the south side of town. Her name was Maria Santos.
What's this all about, anyway?
I'm not sure yet.
Christine Bennett, Dan Tux with Channel 3 News. Look, I wanted to ask you a few questions on why you're helping a murderer. James Talley, the Friday Night Massacre. I'm doing a story, and I was hoping you'd give me an interview.
How did you find out about me?
It's a small town. Look, I'm just trying to get both sides of the story. Is it true you're a nun?
Excuse me.
Don't you have anything to say in James Talley's defense?
The sky is filled with good and bad that mortals will never know.
Is that from the Bible?
Led Zeppelin.
Hey. Morning, James.
I don't want to leave Green Willow, Cakes. I like it here.
Everything is gonna be fine.
But they said that there are people outside who want to hit us with their signs.
Listen to me, no one is gonna hurt you, okay? I'm not gonna let them.
Christine, did you see this?
Well, look at that. I've never seen Jean Sherry's cars before.
Oh, wow.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me, Dr. Sanderson.
Not at all. Please sit down. So, you've met James.
I have. Do you know anything about Edward? Is he in the same condition?
I'm afraid so. You know, they really were remarkable children. Dr. Harold Molyneux followed their progress for well over a decade until he died in 1973, I believe.
Well, that was a year before the murder. Could I find his studies on the internet?
They've been published. I'll have my secretary make a copy for you.
Thank you.
He also filmed his sessions, but sadly, all of that footage disappeared right after the murder. Edward and James are what are called prodigious savants. There may be only 50 of them in the whole world. Most savants, commonly called idiot savants, have one area in which they excel, either mathematics, like calendar dates, or music. But Edward and James combine them both in the most extraordinary ways.
Do you think they're capable of murder?
Brooks.
Hello, Detective Brooks. It's Christine Bennett.
What's up?
I just spoke with James Talley's doctor, and he told me that they were the subject of a celebrated study.
That's so.
And apparently, there's extensive film of them that went missing after the murder.
Well, it's probably seized during the time of the arrest. It might be in the files. I'll follow up.
Bless you.
Oh, by the way, I should have those old case files by Monday.
Yes, I'll be there. And you'll check about the footage?
Oh, it's on the top of my list.
Thank you, Detective. Hello?
Hi, it's Virginia.
Oh, hi, Virginia. Is everything okay with Jean?
Jean's fine. Do you have a TV?
A TV, yeah. My aunt has one right here.
Turn it on.
Okay.
Channel 3.
All right, hold on one second. Okay.
Okay.
Here at the Green Willow Residential Care Facility continues to rock this quiet suburban community, all because of this man, James Talley, a new resident to Green Willow, who, along with his brother, were alleged to have slain their mother in what is known as the Friday Night Massacre. With me is Oakwood's Mayor, Joan Primrose.
People of Oakwood have a right to feel.
You watching?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Okay.
Why don't I call you back?
Okay.
Better yet, I'm going to come by later.
Bye.
Okay.
Like Green Willow does not undermine
Thank
and
you very
threaten
much,
the safety of our own community.
Thank you very much. But now a rock and roll spouting defrock nun, also a new resident of the community, has come forward in James Talley's defense. Christine Bennett, Dan Tux for Channel 3 News. I'd ask you a few questions on why you're helping a murderer. James Talley, the Friday Night Massacre. I'm doing a story, and I was hoping you'd give me an interview.
How did you find out about me?
It's a small town. Look, I'm just trying to get both sides of the story. Is it true you're a nun?
Excuse me.
Don't you have anything to say in James Talley's defense?
The sky is filled with good and bad that mortals will never know.
Is that from the Bible?
Led Zeppelin.
With her own cousin, a resident of Green Willow, some say Christine Bennett's interests seem more selfish than selfless. Dan Tuxford, Channel 3 News.
Thanks for that report, Dan.
It's not true.
I was afraid you'd jump into a snake pit.
Do you want me to stop?
My job is to protect Green Willow. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Now I have board members screaming at me because they're getting threatening phone calls.
Oh, Virginia, I'm so sorry. All I wanted to do was help.
I know.
Hi, kids.
Hey.
Hi, Dr. McAlpin.
Hello, Jean.
Hey, where's James? Isn't he out here with you?
James is with his brother.
No, sweetie. James is looking for his brother. His brother doesn't live here.
James' brother is here for a visit. Over there.
Who's that man with James? I have no idea. I'm calling security.
I'll be right back.
Bye.
Come on, you can do it. Sign your name here. I need you to sign your name.
Excuse me.
Right over.
May I help you?
No thanks. I was just leaving.
You okay, James? Sir? Sir? Jean, wait!
Brother Tom put me in touch with Father Brown at Our Lady of Guadalupe. Maria Santos was married there in June of 1976 to an Alfred Padilla.
Okay, hold on. I'm writing this down.
They were parishioners until 1990.
Oh. Okay, well, it's a start.
They moved and joined St. Isidore's. Their pastor tells me she goes to 9:30 Mass every Sunday.
Then I'll see her there tomorrow.
Turn to Channel 3, quick.
Okay.
The unidentified man ran to his car and took off, injuring a security guard, and Christine Bennett, who's been defending the James Talley murder case and who refuses to talk with us. The suspect was reportedly visiting James Talley, a resident confined for the brutal murder of his mother 30 years ago, and who's moved to Green Willow as this neighborhood up in arms.
This incident today merely confirms my belief that a facility like Green Willow does not belong in a family neighborhood.
The Oakwood City Council plans to vote on just that issue at their next meeting. Ted?
Thanks for that report, Dan. And now
Are you okay?
Yeah, just bruised ego.
It's not easy to stand up for what you believe in.
I just don't know if I'm doing the right thing.
Don't doubt yourself. You're doing a wonderful job.
Then why do I feel so lost?
Bennett?
Thank you, Father. Thank you. Thank you so much for seeing me, Maria.
Oh, I'm so happy to help you. My sweet boys. Even though they were older than me, they were like children. Like wonderful smiles.
What was Mrs. Talley like?
Oh, very beautiful. So gentle and patient with the boys. Oh, and generous. I was from Mexico, knowing no one. She paid me $50 a day.
And Mr. Talley?
I never saw him, except for his picture in the boys' room.
Maria, would you mind telling me what happened that Sunday?
I always came to help take the boys to Mass. They were too much for one person to keep quiet in church. It was a beautiful day, so I walked all the way to the Tallies. Mrs. Talley, she gives me the key, so I let myself in. It was unusually quiet in the house. Then I could hear the boys say, Mama, Mama, very softly. And that's when I saw her. Mrs. Talley lying on the floor. There was blood everywhere. It was terrible, the most terrible thing. And the boys, they're hiding under the table saying, Mama, Mama.
The newspaper said that you separated James and Edward.
To keep them quiet. They would talk when they were together like the TV. But separate. You know, a doctor, he studied the twins. He would come with his assistant and film them. But I think he died.
Yes, Dr. Molyneux died in 1973. Maria, I met Selma Franklin.
La Bruja, the witch. She's still alive. Even though Selma was their housekeeper, she and Mrs. Talley never got along. She would get very angry whenever the boys made any noise. You know, running around the yard like boys do.
She owns the Talley house now.
I heard she bought the house years ago.
How do you think she could afford it?
No, I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past her. Always complaining. When her own son is hanging around, the one getting into trouble. He was a drug addict.
Did she have another son?
That one was enough.
Maria, is there anything else? Anything, no matter how small.
One thing. Edward's jacket. James's coat was there as always. But I couldn't find Edward's favorite jacket. I tried to tell the detective.
Detective O'Connor.
Yes, that was his name. I remember what he told me.
Come on, senorita. Put anything on it. Got Sunday dinner waiting.
Did you tell anyone else about the coat?
After that day, no, I was too afraid.
Afraid?
Before I married, I was illegal. I was afraid they would send me back. Please kiss Jamie for me. They were my sweet, sweet boys.
Christine Bennett. Come on. Camera up. Saturdays the Green Borough on 6. That's Christine Bennett. Bennett, Jamestown.
I knew it would be more complicated out there. I just didn't know how complicated.
You'll be fine. Tell me about the twins.
I just don't think they killed their mother, no matter what anyone says. I've met James, and he's sweet and quiet, but he does have this, sadness about him.
As if he's not complete?
You could say that. Why?
I need to meditate on it longer.
No break-in, nothing stolen. O'Connor assumed the brothers did it.
But...
Take the knife, for example. Say you're gonna stab me, how are you gonna hold it?
Like this, I guess?
Exactly. But the prints they got from the twins came off the blade, like this.
Well, so maybe they just picked it up, out of curiosity.
There was also another set of partial prints. They never got a match. No one followed up on it.
Oh, Detective, you don't know what this means. Maria Santos said that Edward's favorite jacket was missing.
The murderer could have put it on to cover his bloody clothes.
The murderer? Does that mean you believe?
I believe nothing. Yeah.
Wait a minute, this is the man that I chased at Greenwell.
It's impossible. He hasn't been seen or heard from in years. This is the Patrick Talley Sr., two-timing husband, deadbeat dad, and if you ask me, a prime suspect.
But he looks exactly like him.
His son. While he was still married to Alberta, he lived with another woman. They had a son, Patrick Jr. It could be him. By the way, I found some film buried in the medical school archives. I had it transferred to tape for you.
Edward, how many jelly beans did your mother just pour from the jar?
876.
James, do you agree?
222 blue ones, 200 red ones.
Hello?
Is this Miss Bennett?
Yes?
This is Selma Franklin.
Mrs. Franklin, I'm so glad you called.
Do you have time to drop by the house?
I do. I could be there in an hour?
I'll be expecting you.
Great, I'll see you then.
3 green ones, 6 black ones. 876.
I know this is personal, but I was wondering, how did you come to buy this house? It seems a bit out of the price range for someone
Who's a housekeeper?
Well, honestly, yes.
Truthfully, sister, the price of a home drops significantly once it becomes known that a murder was committed inside it. They have to report that by law, and most people don't want to live in a house with such a history.
Does it bother you?
I guess it would if I thought about it, but I try not to. It's the only way I could afford my own home. I think I've told you everything, sister.
I have to make a confession. I lied to you. I used to be Sister Edward Francis, but now I'm Christine Bennett.
Oh.
There. I feel much better for telling the truth. I saw Maria Santos yesterday. She told me that you and Mrs. Talley didn't get along very well. Mrs. Franklin, I don't mean to stir up unpleasant memories. I just want to help James and his brother.
I was there the night of the murder. I was fixing dinner. I heard someone walk past my window.
And then what happened?
Well, I heard their doorbell ring. The door opened. Angry voices. The door closed. It sounded like an argument. I heard Mrs. Talley. No, stop, please.
What did you do then?
I went over to the house. There were noises from inside, not voices, movement. The noise stopped just like that. I slipped back into my quarters and locked the door. After a few minutes, someone came out of the front door, past my window. I was too scared to look out and see who it was.
Why didn't you call the police?
I couldn't.
Mrs. Franklin, was your son at home with you?
I told you my son died in Vietnam.
The war ended in March of 1973. Maria Santos said that he was here living with you in 1974.
Did she tell you he was a two-bit thief stealing money from his mother's purse? That nothing mattered to him except his next fix? No. My son left his heart and soul in Vietnam. What came home?
I'm so sorry.
I didn't see him all that weekend. Then he comes home, strung out and looking like hell. Then I asked him where he'd been, and he said nowhere. But that weekend I found these. These belong to Alberta Talley. I don't know why I've kept them all these years.
It's all right.
It's not all right. It hasn't been for a long time. Because you see, my son killed Alberta Talley.
I could track down the current whereabouts of Summer Franklin's son, but we do have his prints in our system. And they do not match those mystery prints found at the Talley murder scene.
So Selma kept quiet all these years because she wrongfully thought her son committed the murder.
Do you blame her?
Well, if she'd said something back then, this case might have been solved a long time ago.
But she thought it involved your son. What would your mother do in the same situation?
Here's a rundown on that treasure you asked for. Guess who's at the top of the list?
Patrick Talley, Jr. Patrick Talley. Detective Brooks, Metro PD.
Hold it right there.
Don't anything.
Okay, well then you got nothing to worry about.
What's your name again?
Jack Brooks.
I want to talk to my lawyer, Jack.
You want to tell me what you were doing in Green Willow?
It's personal.
What? Just having a little chat with your big brother?
My big brother.
When was the last time you saw him?
Never met him before. 30 years ago, police come knocking on our door. Press all over the yard, looking in our windows. I was 15 years old. How would you like to find out that your father, who you loved and admired more than anything, wasn't married to your mother, but had another wife and two idiot sons who butchered her in the kitchen?
There's no trial, no conviction. It's possible the twins didn't kill their mother.
Yeah, and like everybody else, you think my father did it.
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to. I've lived with suspicion my whole life. Killed my mother. Dad was never the same.
He was pretty successful, wasn't he? Insurance, right?
Yeah.
Had a big policy out on Alberta.
And it's all in a trust for the twins.
Your father tell you that?
No.
What happens to all that money when James and Edward die? By the way, Patrick, your father had an alibi for the night of the murder.
I know. I was his alibi.
Where is he now?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? After my mom died, he retired to the Bahamas. Guess he wanted to be near his money. I haven't heard from him in 10 years. He could be dead for all I know.
But he made you your brother's trustee.
No, I did that. I petitioned the court. The twins have a lot of money coming to them, Detective. That's what I was trying to explain to James.
Or maybe you were trying to have him sign it over to you.
Patrick? Detective? As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing left to say.
I was through anyway.
Close those shades.
Okay.
Kill that mic.
He has been living all these years believing his father's a murderer.
You think he thinks his dad did it? I think it's about the money.
It's usually about the money.
Patrick Talley Sr. had a lot to gain from his wife's death. He could have been the man that Selma heard. He could have been the one who stole Edward's jacket.
Get in closer, Jerry. Get their hands.
Overnight tonight as cool as the upper 30s. 38 degrees in Rancho Cucamonga, 43 degrees in Encino.
Daytime highs tomorrow, upper 50s to lower 60s. 64 degrees in Orange, 55 degrees in Victorville.
51 degrees up in the San Bernardino mountain range, and I'm happy to say it'll be dry for the game tomorrow, Dennis. Good news, Dusty.
Well, they certainly used to talk.
Maria said they talked incessantly when they were together.
This is the last one. March 1974 must have been made weeks before Alberta was murdered.
Edward, can you tell me what 2 + 2 equals?
I don't like this. It's upsetting the boys. Stop shooting. I said stop shooting. This is not the way we've done it in the past. Not the way we've done it in the past.
Let me get this straight. This was filmed after Dr. Molyneux had died, so who shot this?
I haven't found any information about the twins seeing another doctor. Do you think maybe they used the same cameraman? I think we have to reunite James and Edward Talley.
Absolutely.
But a court order says you can't reunite them.
What if we could reverse the court order?
Miss Bennett, the vote is next week. Do you know how much time it takes to even get a court date?
They are the only witnesses to their mother's murder.
Most people believe that's because they killed her.
No. We now have evidence that someone else was there that night.
Even so, they can't tell you anything.
Dr. Sanderson, last night, I saw James and Edward on those tapes.
You found the tapes?
Detective Brooks found them. When they're together, they are brilliant. Don't you see? They have been kept separate all these years. First by Maria, to keep them quiet. Then by the police to question them. Separate hospitals, separate cities. They need to be together to tell us what happened.
Miss Bennett, I don't mean any disrespect, but your theory seems to be based more on sentiment than on science.
Please. Dr. Sanderson, I need your authorization on this.
So James and Edward haven't seen each other for 30 years?
If you could see these tapes, they have such a bond. They feed off each other's energy, complete each other's sentences. And now, James, he barely speaks. It's
as if he isn't whole.
Yes.
But perhaps these two gifted creatures are halves of a whole person for reasons only God can explain.
I don't think I follow.
They need each other. The way your heart needs your brain. The way each part of your body needs every other part to function fully. Without each other, the twins merely survive. They breathe, they eat, they digest food, but only together are they whole.
Yes, that's why I want to reunite them. Not just for Greenwillow, but for them.
We'll pray for them together.
We petitioned to get Edward here on supervised visitation. Now it's all up to Judge Bernardi Powers.
How long is that going to take? The vote's next week.
I'm sorry, Chris. I can't make the courts run any faster.
Dr. Sanderson's not too crazy about bringing them together.
Doctors never do you any favors unless you give them a consultant fee.
He wants to see the tapes.
Let me think about that. In the meantime, I had Abe do some poking around about our mystery cameraman.
And?
No luck. Remember, this is 30 years ago. I don't think we're gonna find much.
And now let us pray for the special intentions of our dear friend Christine.
That Edward and James Talley be happily reunited to live out their days together.
Lord, hear our prayer.
That Edward Talley's court order be handled justly and with speed by Judge Bernard B. Powers.
Lord, hear our prayer. You don't mean Barney Powers, the runny-nosed hellion I had in the 3rd grade? Don't worry. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Hi, James. Do you want to play calls? No, have that one. Have that one. James, have that one. No, put it in your mouth. James. What's that? What's that?
For you.
Hello?
Christine, it's Virginia. Something's happened to Gene.
What happened, Virginia?
The paramedics think he's been poisoned. They treated him, but he needs to have his stomach pumped as soon as possible. Gene!
You're gonna be okay.
You all right, Gene? Gene, you're gonna be okay. You go with him. I'll meet you at the hospital, okay?
Hey.
Hi, kid. Am I gonna die, kid?
No, Jane. You're gonna be up and out of here in no time.
Because I did something bad.
It's not your fault you're sick.
James had a chocolate bar and I ate it.
It's okay. I'll get James another chocolate bar.
James could have my cough. You could give him my cough. Sorry, kids. Sorry.
Gene said he ate a candy bar that he got from James Talley.
Is that how they think he was poisoned?
If it was meant for James, someone knows we're getting close.
And they'll probably try again. We need to find a safe place to hide James.
You have somewhere in mind?
There you are, James. This is for you.
Thank you, Reverend Mother. I don't know what I'd do without you.
If you can't live without us, why don't you just move back in? Never mind. You have your worldly reasons. Everything to your liking, Detective Brooks.
It's a pretty good hideout, as long as no one blabs he's here.
I assure you, Detective, the Sisters of St. Francis rarely blab.
Do you know where my brother is?
This is how you get in touch with Dr. McAlpin if James needs anything. She's the only other person that knows he's here.
How'd you end up at St. Stephen's anyway?
My mom was the first to take me for a visit. Her favorite uncle was a priest, and she always dreamed that I would be called to vocation. I remember that first time I saw St. Stephen's.
Classic old Spanish architecture. It's a nice place.
When my mom died, I went to go live with Aunt Meg and Jean, but I found myself thinking about St. Stephen's. Maybe I felt close to my mother there. Maybe having the other sisters was like having 30 mothers. I got a great education, and I became a teacher. I'm sure this all must seem very strange to a Presbyterian. Thanks, Jack.
Wait. I'd like to know why you really left.
Okay. It was the last day of term. I said goodbye to my students, and watching them rush off to their various lives, I suddenly felt this huge ache inside of me, like I wanted to go with them. And I just knew. I didn't leave because I was angry or because of a man.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Good night, Christine.
Good night, Jack.
Look, I don't know who Christine Bennett is, okay? And I demand to know why you have hauled me down to this cesspool of a neighborhood in the middle of the night.
This is not about you breaking into Greenwillow anymore, Patrick. This is about murder. This is about attempted murder. This is about you stopping at nothing to get to James Talley, even if it means breaking into Christine Bennett's house and roughing her up.
Oh, what are you talking about? This is entrapment.
He didn't really rough me up.
It's just Jack's technique.
I think he's made you hard on him.
He's really interested in the case.
Knocked her around before you ran. I told you, I don't know who that woman is.
Christine Bennett. The woman you nearly ran over at Greenwillow. The woman who saw your same black sedan speeding away from her house last night.
I'm not the only man in Southern California with a black sedan.
Is it to protect your father because he murdered his wife 30 years ago and let his poor sons take the rap for it?
You cannot prove that.
Or is it because of all the money you'd get if James and Edward were dead?
My father left me with more than enough money.
There's a funny thing about money, Patrick. There's no such thing as enough.
It's about time.
Better have a pretty good reason this time, Detective.
Yeah, I got a reason. Client here's a liar.
Don't worry, it's all hot air.
So he skips again?
I can't be sure it was him. It was so dark.
This is Brooks. What time? Thanks, I'll be there. You better go home and get packed. I'm taking you to St. Stephen's.
No, but
You'll be safe there. We need to hurry.
You taking him there, too?
Absolutely.
Who?
Your leap of faith. He comes in at 1 o'clock.
Edward Talley.
Hello, Edward. Do you want to go up the stairs?
Very much.
Sanderson is going ballistic. With good reason. James Talley is his patient.
If anything gets out of hand, you can page him.
I thought they might meet in the garden. It's peaceful and sunny there.
This way, James. Right over here. This way. Sit down, James. James, here's your brother Edward. James. I don't think this is going to do any good.
Brothers reunited finally? There's goodness in that.
187 white things. Definitely 187. Hamburger, ketchup.
I'll see what I can do.
Christine, come.
Hello, James. It's good to see you again.
James. My name's Edward. We're twins. We're twins.
I know.
Do either one of you know what day this is today?
Sunday. April 14th. 1974.
So they're trapped in some kind of time warp? I can't exactly interrogate them like this.
No, Jack. Your interrogation technique isn't what's called for here.
Then what?
Who do you think killed Alberta Talley?
Her husband, the not-so-great Patrick Talley Sr.
And his son, Patrick Jr., is a dead ringer for him, right?
If the twins see him, it might trigger their memories of that night.
Exactly. Why not bring Patrick Talley Jr. here to meet James and Edward? We could bring Selma Franklin and Maria, too.
Recreate the night of the murder. It could work.
I don't like it. You're playing sense memory games with two very unstable people.
We could talk to Dr. Sanderson first.
Sure. Bring Dr. Sanderson. He can be in the room with us. That is, if everything's kosher with St. Stephen's.
What better place for a miracle?
Keep out! Have a right to be saved.
We want justice for our community. No murderers in our community. Justice in our neighborhood.
You glad to be back?
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling?
I have a sore throat. What's that?
I don't know.
What is it?
Open it up.
Mm-hmm. It's a 1957 Bel Ale. I love it.
like it.
Christine, you remember Dr. Sanderson, don't you?
Oh, yes. Dr. Sanderson, thank you so much for coming. It's about James and Edward Talley.
What about them?
Yesterday, we brought them together.
Without me present? Without my authorization? Those were not my conditions, Miss Bennett. Virginia, I should have been notified. I could report you to the state medical board. You're risking your entire career.
Next Tuesday, the city council gets together to decide whether we stay open or whether they shut us down. If we can prove the Talley brothers innocent, there would be no reason to shut us down.
Did you? Prove that they were innocent?
Not yet.
To Edward and James, they're still back on that Sunday, April 14th, 1974.
The Sunday they were arrested.
We want to bring them back to the night of their mother's murder. To have them tell us who else was there that night.
All right. I'll agree to this on two conditions. One, that I'm there. And two, if their memories overwhelm them, they may need to be sedated. I'll bring something with me to calm them down if necessary. Where are they now?
They're at St. Stephen's Convent.
We're driving there this afternoon. Won't you come with us?
No, I need to pick up some things at my office. I'll drive up and meet you there.
What is with you? I'm not talking to you.
I don't want to talk to you. She does.
Why should I help you?
Patrick, I never believed that you wanted to hurt James or me.
Yeah, well, tell that to Hothead over there.
In your heart, there must be some feeling for James and Edward. They're your brothers.
Brothers. My father was a kind and warm person. He was loving. And she took all of that away from him. She wore him down. She bled him dry.
Alberta Talley.
The only thing that woman cared about was her two retarded sons. My father sent her money every month, but it was never enough.
Is that why he killed her? Patrick, you have been carrying your father's guilt for all of these years. And you're not guilty of anything. Will you please help us put this to rest once and for all? And this is Detective Jack Brooks.
Hello. Hello. Are all these people necessary? Why don't you just sell tickets and turn it into a circus?
It's not going to be like that, I promise.
I'd like to see the patients. Now.
Thank you. Hello, James. Hello, Edward.
Mis muchachos cariñosos.
What exactly do you plan on doing?
Well, I would like to guide the twins through what happened the night of the murder. Have them tell me in their own words. In that way, I'm hoping that we can bring them back from the past.
What if it's too much for their memories?
Dr. Sanderson.
I'm prepared to sedate them.
And what am I here for?
To give witness. James, Edward, I'd like you to help me do something. Will you do that? Good. Do you remember what you did on Friday? Maria said that you went to Mass. Isn't that right? Do you remember going to church that day?
Mama wore her favorite coat. The baby cried.
Dominus vobiscum, et cum spiritu tuo, sosum corda.
How do they know Latin?
They don't. They're like tape recorders. They can play back what they hear, but without any understanding of the meaning of it.
Dignum et justum est.
What happened after Mass when you got home?
Good morning, Mrs. Belly. Good morning. James? Edward? Maria's here?
Maria's here. She's taking us to the park so Mama can go shopping.
Hello.
It's true. She's taking us to the park. What day was I born? December 22nd, 1949. A high of 65, a low of 52, partly cloudy. Rain coming in from the north. 3/10 of an inch downtown.
What happened when Maria brought you back home?
Mama bought cornflakes. Maria, I can take care of the boys. You go home now.
What happened next?
Cheese sandwiches, no ham. It's Friday.
What's the point of all this?
Just give it some time.
James, what happened after lunch?
Mama turned on the radio.
Yeah. And now, let's listen to Old Blue Eyes, chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra, singing Strangers in the Night. Go to bed, boys. Be good boys. Doorbell. Easy.
Did your mother answer the door?
Mama.
Who came to visit?
These are the kinds of questions they can't answer.
Edward. Edward, was this person a friend?
We play games, calendar games.
Was it a man or a woman?
Is this who it was? Was it this face?
Your father will always love you. He wants to be with you Christmas, but he's away on business. He loves you very much. Put the picture down, James.
It wasn't your father at the door. To them, he was just a photograph. It wasn't him. James, Edward, on April 12th, after 6 p.m., your mother opened the door.
Doorbell. Dum-dum. Easy.
Did she say anything to this person?
What do you want, Jerry?
Jerry?
We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. Chocolate. Chocolate. You can't do this to me. This is an opportunity to advance science. Opportunity to advance yourself, and not your guinea pigs. I beg you, stay away from me, or I'll call the police. Please, you can't do this to me. Not after all these years. They're a big part of my life. I don't care. Stay away from me, you stupid cow. I'll kill you. James! James! Anyone help me! Help! I didn't know.
take care of this. This is too traumatic for them. I'm going to put a stop to it right now.
It's not necessary. Boys. Be good boys. Be good boys. Good.
Don't see.
The doorbell again?
Doorbell.
Who was at the door? It was Selma Franklin. Selma Franklin was at the door.
Mama's fine. She's resting. Say anything about this, and I'll be back for you.
They need to be sedated.
Jerry. There was someone named Jerry who assisted Dr. Molyneux on the video.
No more chocolate, Jerry. Don't worry, Jerry.
Have you seen my brother Edward? Have you seen my brother Edward?
Yes, James, I've seen Edward. Now be a good boy, and you can have a treat.
No chocolate, Jerry. Jerry.
No more chocolate, Jerry.
You know my brother Edward? Edward?
Yes, James. I know Edward.
Go away, Jerry. Jerry. Go away, Jerry.
GK?
Gerard Kingsley Sanderson. Gerard. Jerry.
Now I remember you. You came with Dr. Molyneux. Mr. Jerry.
Go! Put it down and let her go! I've got enough morphine in this to kill her, and I will.
It's over, Sanderson.
Over? Not for 30 years. Dr. Molyneux got all the credit, but it was me, a lousy intern. I was the one who recognized how unique they really are.
It was an accident. You didn't mean to kill Alberta. You lost your temper.
You upset them too much, she said. They don't like to be separated, she said. Look at them. They don't understand anything.
But the twins saw it all. You knew they'd remember every detail unless they were separated. That was the key. Keep them apart.
One more step, and she's dead. Why couldn't you just leave it alone? No one needed to know.
People did need to know what happened that night. They've been in such pain for so long.
Be quiet. Please. I'll kill her. I swear.
Okay. Look. We can make a deal.
No deal. You know, you're right, Miss Bennett. After all these years, no more pain.
$179 seconds to death. Confirmed.
Mother, I can't thank you and St. Stephen's enough.
This is all the thanks we need.
Jim, Miss Bennett, oh, I can't tell you how happy I am that everything is all worked out. You know, Oakwood needs more places like Green Willow. Well, I have to go and test the flesh. I'm really happy for you, Virginia.
Thank you. Wait till I hit her up for the permit to expand next door.
Patrick Talley has made sure that the twins are taken care of financially. They'll be spending the rest of their lives in Green Willow.
Together.
Oh, ladies, if you'll excuse me, I have a date. See ya. I've never said that before.
I suppose you've decided to stay on the outside.
I think I'll help people more on the outside. But I'll be back, Mother. Often. You can count on it.
Hi, Kick.
I kick. I kick.
I like echoes.
That's because they like you, Gene. Okay, I'm gonna see you later. Take care, Patrick.
Thanks. You will. Bye, Kick.
Bye, Kick. Bye, Kicks.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Kick. Bye. James, no. You ate my pickle. That's my pickle. Bye, Kick.
Bye, Kick. Bye, Kicks.
No.